Watchers on the Couch. We are the voices that guide the realms of men. We are the Night's Watch. Hello and welcome back to the Night's Watch. Today we'll be talking about episode, what is that? I don't even know. 4, I think? 4? Yeah, 4 of season 8 of Game of Thrones. But as always, I forgot to tell you who I am. I am your host, Cal the Kingslayer, if you didn't know already. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host from House Oddshaped Channel, Lord Tom and Lady Kimber. Welcome.
Hello.
The Twin Peaks hello. I sent it out to a bunch more people. I'm trying to figure out who I was supposed to send this out to. I hope I got everybody. Because people don't have, notifications don't always work on this stupid thing. But hopefully we got everyone. But let's say hi to some people we got in the chat. We got Billy, Eric, Oddshaped Channel, you guys. Kimber, welcome. Casual, how are you? And Rain, hey girl, hey, what's going on? So we're going to be talking about the last of the Starks, or so it may seem. But I don't know, we were so let down last week. Before we go into the thing too much. Did you feel like this episode was better? Did it redeem itself? The show, or for you guys?
The show is broken now, and there's no coming back from it. Is where I'm at. I'm a broken person, and I'm just trying to enjoy what I can.
There's just so many things that just don't add up. Still, even ignoring the events of last week, things were done this episode that just don't make sense.
There is a bunch of stuff that doesn't make sense.
The Night King dying was so inconsequential that they didn't even show it in their last week highlight reel.
It was like a throwaway line. I would have thought that they would have everyone was celebrating, but I guess Dany did enter the Hero of the North Arya, but I would have expected a little bit more of a spectacle. But I guess Arya didn't want that, so it's fair.
Another thing is, though, do they usually do? I can't remember, but do they usually do previously on Game of Thrones? They don't do that often, right? Or do they?
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just don't pay attention until I hear the opening credits or a cold. I don't know. I don't remember that. And then later I started seeing, I'm like, oh, maybe I was right about something. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Nothing changed on the opening map compared to last week, right?
Is the blue tiles gone? The blue tiles are probably gone.
No, they're there still because
they just stopped at Winterfell.
All right. Well,
our hopes.
Maybe there's something's gonna go down at Winterfell. We don't know. Maybe the Night King's gonna come back. I don't know. We'll see. But before we get started, we do have some business to take care of, and we do have a lot of business to take care of today. As we always like to mention, wish a happy name to the people whose name base have been since last week. So on Sunday, we have my friend Gabriella, who you guys have met over at the Game of Thrones party. Also, my friend Lisette. They're both born on Cinco de Mayo, so that was Sunday. So happy name day to you guys. So that's Gabriella and Lisette. And then on today, we have Raul's birthday. You guys all know Raul from basically the OS Peeps, and you'll see him around here. And No Pants Wonder Days. So she's a streamer over on Twitch. So please check them out too. So Raul Rodriguez, as well as No Pants Wonder Day. Happy name day to you guys. Today is your birthday. Oh, there's Gabrielle in the chat. And we can't forget yesterday, even though it's not name day, but it's also a special day. It was my parents' 58th anniversary, wedding anniversary. So May 7th is their wedding anniversary. So 58 years. And welcome, Gabriella. Welcome, TJ. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Yeah, so that's who we have. The other thing that we also like to do is our Take the Black segment. So if you guys purchase a Night's Watch shirt designed by our lovely friend Janine Devine over at G9 Designs, the link is in the description below. You can be featured in the episode at the beginning. We're running out of slots. I think we only have one slot left. I think someone actually bought a shirt and they're going to send me a picture. They finally sent me this weekend. But I know some other people have a bunch of shirts that haven't sent pictures either. So maybe we can make a collage or something towards the end. But for the Take the Black segment this week, we're going to be featuring a friend of mine, Angelo. I don't know if you guys have met him, but he's at one of my Game of Thrones parties as well. His wife also has a shirt, but she was not featured in the picture. But she has one as well. So that's Angelo. Thank you for taking the black, and welcome to the Night's Watch. All right, yeah. So a lot of people, thank you for supporting the show. We got a lot of people here today. Also, I'm just seeing if I missed anybody in the chat going a little bit faster than normal. they are dextering hard. Oh, okay, that's what you saying. I was like TJ Dex. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah, so you guys are still not back on it yet, but maybe if something plays out for Kimber, it might turn her around. We'll see. A certain person or two people getting on the throne together somewhat. I don't know. We'll see. But I guess we can get right into the episode. This week's episode, like I said, was The Last of the Starks, Season 8, Episode 4. And it began with kind of a funeral for the mass burning of several people. The survivors mourn the ones they lost. We see Dany mourning Jorah, Sansa mourning Theon, and we actually do have a really very nice touching moment. So now Theon's dead, so make that count 7 for last week, guys. 7. Well, I don't know if he's dead yet. We did see him burn, so we'll see. But Theon is dead, apparently. And we have a nice moment where she puts the Stark pin on his body, which is a really touching moment. And then Jon says a little speech. He does give good speeches. He may not be the best, trying to get to the Godswood from where he started and running at the Night King in slow motion. But he does give good speeches. And the bodies are burned in a mass funeral pyre. The survivors then celebrate. They have a giant celebratory feast. And at that point, Gendry's looking for Arya, and he asks the Hound. The Hound doesn't know, and they have a little banter. And as Gendry's walking out to look for her, Dany stops him, and Dany then legitimizes him and makes him the Lord of Storm's End. The next scene is where Jaime encourages Brienne to drink and enjoy herself because they just survived an onslaught of the dead. So it was just nice, like seeing them kind of happy, I guess, at this moment in life and all that. Any thoughts about the I guess early on in the episode, the celebratory stuff and Gendry being legitimized and all that?
I guess like at first, because me and my friend were like trash talking Dany about the decision to legitimize him, but because it like obviously that would bring someone maybe not in Targaryen rights, but like as far as Baratheon rights, he's the next on the throne. Like he would be Cersei's next, but Dany, well, you explained it to me, why don't you?
Yeah, I agree with Dany's choice here. One, that picture sideways.
I'm doing this. I'm not wrong.
With the move she's showing that she doesn't seem like the crazy mad queen like people are trying to make her out to be. It makes her a little like relatable, like she's able to see past, her family's history, and especially because he's never even met his dad, And 2, she's now getting a strong ally. She's putting someone in Storm's End who is there because she put them there, and it just makes her look better to them. So I think this is the right move for Dany, one of the better moves made in this episode.
Yeah, she's got to start finding allies, because if she doesn't find allies, her army's pretty depleted with I think they said all the Dothraki are dead, right?
Half of them, they said, somehow.
Yeah, and then they have because they showed like them taking chess pieces off the board, right? And then we have half the Unsullied too. Is that what it is? Is that what they said? I don't know exactly how many Unsullied.
It's like half of everybody is basically
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop it there, and then we'll go on. Let's break it at that segment. Okay. Any other thoughts about the preliminary feast? Because I have some more stuff about the feast coming up.
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you. All right, so then we see Davos talking to Tyrion. I'm trying to see where I am in here. Oh, he regrets not killing Melisandre, as he said he would, but she did it herself. Tyrion then speaks to Bran about his wheelchair, assuming that he's gonna take the role of Lord of Winterfell, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't want anything he said anymore. And it's kind of I think he said it was when he said he liked it. The wheelchair from the historical Targaryen from 100 years ago, and I heard the name, but I forgot which one he said because I'm currently reading the Fire and Blood book, so I'm guessing they'll probably mention him in the book. But I don't know if Tyrion knew it. Thought that that Bran read it, or he knows that he's like the three-eyed raven kind of thing. Tormund and Dany then raise a toast. Tormund says, to the Dragon Queen, and then Dany says to Arya, the hero of Winterfell. And they all are really happy, and then Jon and Dany share a look, and that kind of upsets Sansa, as you see her in the background, and she kind of walks off. Jaime, Brienne, and Tyrion play that drinking game that they played with Shay and Bronn, and then Tormund starts recounting all the heroics of Jon, and that kind of upsets Dany because she's seeing that all these people rally behind him, and now he has a claim to the throne. So I don't know. It was kind of felt kind of bad about it. But I think I jumped to the pictures. Hold on, let me see, because all the pictures look the same from the feast. So I think I might have jumped the pictures. Oh yeah, this is the one picture I missed. So I'll just overlap it because it looks just like the picture I did right here. Is where Tormund recounts all of Jon's heroics and proclaims him a king, and you kind of see Dany upset because you see her face, and then she kind of storms off as well. Tyrion games ends as he questions Brienne about her maidenhood, and then Tormund comes in and sees her, and they kind of are face to face, and then she walks away, and then Jaime kind of stops Tormund from following her, and then he follows Brienne, and then he seems really upset about it, like he's heartbroken. And then he goes to seek consolation from the Hound, and it was really funny. Hound's like, "Get away from me," and then the girl's like, you can like spend the night with me or whatever. I'm not afraid of wildlings. And then so Tormund's face changes real quickly, and he goes with the servant girl, I guess. And then Sansa, this is what I was actually waiting for a few episodes. Sansa sits with the Hound and they have a discussion. This is actually a really good talk that they had. And he said, you probably should have came with me all that time ago when I asked, because you would have been safe. None of this would have happened and shit. And once again, a continual theme throughout this season has been like everything that's happened has brought us here to who we are. And that's basically what she says. She goes, I wouldn't be a little bird anymore. If I would still be a little bird had none of this happened to me. Meanwhile, we see Gendry finds Arya, tells her the news of his legitimization and proposes to her, but she refuses, and she says that's not her because she's no lady. Speaking of ladies, we go back up to Jaime and Brienne, and they have sex. So it's funny that Jaime goes, I never had sex with a knight, and then, because her being the first ever female knight, I guess. And then she's like, I never had sex with anybody, so, that's why she was supposed to drink anyway, but she was too embarrassed to do it in front of everyone. And I think that's right. Then we have Dany visiting Jon in her chambers, and she says she wished Jon never told. She claims her love for her Jon, but he's hesitant. Dany wishes that Jon never told her the truth, and she fears that she'll never get the loyalty from the Westerosi that Jon gets. And then she actually begs Jon to never reveal a secret to anyone. But he says, "I must tell Sansa and Arya." So that's like the moment where he's like, "Don't worry, it'll be fine because you could trust them. They won't tell anybody. It will be fine. Nothing will change." So up to the point where they meet in the room. Any thoughts from there? From when we see Davos and Tyrion talking to when Jon and Dany are in the room and she begs him not to tell anybody.
What do you want?
Yeah, for sure. I think that Dany's pretty reasonable in the scene where they're all like, "Oh, this crazy guy, who's gonna ride a dragon? No one but a king would ride a dragon." And it's like, bitch, Dany's been riding dragons like since the beginning of the story, but they're all like hyped about their dude buddy like around here doing the same thing for like 5 minutes, just started doing it. So like I totally understand where she's coming from, especially on top of the information that she just received, because they don't even know that stuff. She's like, man, well, they're with this guy even though they don't know the whole story, And I think she's also pretty reasonable and like, hey, if it doesn't matter to you and you don't want to rule, maybe keep this on the down low because it's going to cause nothing but problems. And of course he's Jon, so he is stupid. But yeah, I liked the Jaime and Brienne scene as well. I thought it was funny because a lot of people don't think about the fact that Jaime's only been with his sister. So when he's actually trying to like, even though he's like a handsome dude and has this reputation, when he's actually trying to make moves on a woman, he kind of is like, you find out he's like really super awkward because he doesn't really know how to seduce someone because he's always been with Cersei. And you would imagine that Cersei's like a very dominant person compared to Jaime, So I thought that was funny.
I was really happy with Arya giving Gendry the no skis.
I don't think, did we get to that yet?
Yeah, that's how we.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think it would be true to her. Like, it would have been even worse for her character if she decided to sit down because she says right off the bat she's not a lady in like season 1. And she always says she wants to go west of Westeros. So I'm rooting for her. I want her to start going west of Westeros now. Get out of here while the getting's good.
So according to the map, though, wouldn't like Ashai be that west of Westeros?
You're assuming it's round.
So she's gonna fall off the planet?
No, I'm kidding. Even if it is round, it's the same thing as Columbus not knowing. Like there could be something.
She just wants to go somewhere else. She's just being.
Yeah, that's assuming she goes like northwest. If she goes.
No, I think she actually wants to travel west of Westeros. Like
Okay.
other characters have done it in the show before. Not the show. I'm sorry, the books.
I'm just looking at the chat to catch up. I think.
They're just talking about Podrick.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you about Arya because I feel like she has so much more to do in her life than just settle down, because that's like she's always been saying that's not her. You know, even with Nymeria, that's not you. That's a recurring theme for her as well, because you can see how some of the best things I think she learned was obviously with like Sir Roderick and all them. She wasn't supposed to be taught by them. She watched them train and stuff, but with Tywin, those conversations she had with Tywin, she learned a lot too. So, and obviously Jock and Hagar and all that. So she's been learning it. So I feel like if she does travel west and Westeros or anywhere to Essos further than Braavos and all that, she will learn a lot, because I think she just kind of absorbs things from around her. So I think that's gonna be a good story for her. I mean, will we ever see it? I don't know, but.
Billy in the chat saying that at least the characters are consistent, and while some of them are, I do have to heavily disagree on that. John is not consistent. A lot of the characters who were the really smart characters have been doing a lot of very dumb things recently. I think consistency within the characters and the writing here is one of the major problems they have this season.
And I'd give Tyrion a pass. Like, he is making mistakes, and I think that's for his character. And he's probably the most conflicted out of anybody. So, like, he's probably not in the right thinking spaces. And I think he means well. I don't think he's trying to, screw over Dany. But I think he's not in the right headspace when it comes to fighting his family.
Yeah, I think the writers are just having trouble now that they ran out of books, is what I think.
But I'm saying it's like one person making mistakes is enough. That's good for the story. Everyone making mistakes constantly is just lazy.
And speaking of consistency, there's something coming up later on that I want to ask you guys about. And it's not till the end, but Varys is long gone when it comes to Dany. That is very true. They're waiting. Explains the awful writing for Stannis. Yeah, well, I mean, Stannis is still, if you read the books,
Stannis has the personality of a lobster.
Speaking of we didn't talk about the coffee cup mistake, but Eric, if you look back in the Stannis death episode, he's sitting on a laptop charger. That was one of the things point out. So I'll check that out. If he's dead, we don't know. But the scene.
I mean, to be fair, that's probably Eric's least favorite scene, so he's not.
Yeah, go send him back to that episode.
But okay, so we'll continue on. So now that they've beaten the Long Night and the Great War, that they want to start the final war or the last war. I forgot what the exact word she says. So Dany's council discussed the remaining soldiers and strategy against Cersei. Fortunately for her, Yara has taken back the Iron Islands, and the new ruler of Dorne has sworn loyalty to Dany as well. Tyrion and Jon suggest to cut off supplies to Kingslaying to weaken Cersei's forces and drive the people to revolt, because that's happened before, and now it's winter, so it'll be even worse. Sansa asserts that the forces are not ready, as they need time to recuperate, which angers Dany. Jon then supersedes her authority and says, we pledged the forces to you, so they'll go with you, despite what Sansa says. Tensions arise, and then as everyone's walking out, Arya kind of steps in front of Jon and says, we need to speak to you. So in the Godswood, we have the last of the Starks talking, and Sansa and Arya discuss their resentment for Dany. Arya says that they're family and they must stick together. Jon says that he's not their brother, and Bran and then Arya goes like, no, you are. You are my brother. It doesn't matter, and all that, what people say. You are my brother. And then so Jon looks at Bran, and Bran goes, it's your choice to reveal the secret. And then Jon goes, well, first he asks them to pledge, swear to them that they won't tell anybody. And Arya swears. Sansa's a little reticent about doing that, but finally she swears that she won't tell anybody. And then Jon tells Bran to tell him about his heritage. And I was kind of wishing that they would show this scene, see how they react to it, but they cut away from it. And I was like, no, and I actually said no out loud because I wanted to see them react to it. I'll get to you guys in a second about how you felt about that when we do the overview. But there was a great meme. So here's where he goes like, go ahead and tell them. And there was a great meme of this scene. I sent to Kimber this morning. Like, it was hilarious. I hope you show Tom the meme of this scene. Where he goes, Jon goes, go ahead, tell them. And then Bran says something funny, but it's in the meme. You guys can check it out. Then in the inn, they're at a tavern, I guess. Jaime and Tyrion are, and they're sharing a drink. And Tyrion's asking about Brienne, and then they're interrupted by Bronn, who comes in with a crossbow, and he punches Tyrion in the face, and he shoots one at Jaime, but off the side, so that just as a warning shot. And he tells them that Cersei's offered him around for killing them, but he goes, we made a deal long ago. Whatever you do, you'll beat. Whatever someone offers me, you'll either double or beat. And he goes, well, I'll give you Highgarden. And he goes, okay, I'll take it. But remember, I'll be watching you guys. And then he walks out. Meanwhile, Sandor is riding to the south, and he's joined by Arya. And because they both have unfinished business down in King's Landing. Dany's testing out her dragons, the remaining dragons, Drogon and Rhaegal, to see if they're good enough to fly. You see when Rhaegal takes off, he wavers a little bit, but is eventually flying, and Dany's watching them. And that's not the only people that's watching them, because Sansa's watching him, and Tyrion comes up and talks to her, and Sansa questions Tyrion's faith in Dany, because he's like, why are you following her and stuff like that? And he goes, well, there is, who else would you suggest? There's no one better. And then he's walking away, and then Sansa goes, well, what if there is someone better? So you can presume that he told Jon's secret to Tyrion. Well, at that point, we could presume that's what happened. Your guys' thoughts right now from what we talked about from the War Council meeting until Sansa meeting with Tyrion?
Honestly, if I was Tyrion right now, I know I'm just like, we can reflect back, but in this moment, if I was Tyrion, I would be a little shook that the person I'm advising didn't tell me this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be your closest advisor. If there's another threat to the throne, I should know about it.
Yeah, but she's trying to keep that shit on the down low. And to be fair to her, they
Varys.
Immediately tell everybody. I saw some chat, some in the... I'm drinking, sorry. I saw Eric in the chat talking about how Bronn was annoying him in that scene, but I'm going to say that Bronn is one of the most consistent characters in this entire series. That's very true to exactly what Bronn would do on day one. Really, he's had zero character development, but I kind of like him for that, because he is the type of character who is just kind of a ruthless cutthroat, and he wants to get paid. And yes, he might want to not kill Tyrion and Jaime in this scenario because he has some sort of connection to them. Like, he would rather get paid from these two dudes, but if they're not going to pay him, he will kill them and take the money from Cersei. That's just who Bronn is. So I actually,
sell the crossbow.
Yeah, I absolutely liked this scene a lot because it did seem really true to who that character is, and I think that him and Varys were probably the most consistent in this episode with who their characters really are. And
I think Bronn is one of the ones that potentially have like the best happy ending out of everyone, because he is a cutthroat. You know what I mean? Like, that's the rules it takes to survive in something like this. We learned in season 1, honor gets you nowhere. So as far as other things, Sansa, smart, talking about letting the troops heal, maybe letting your dragon heal, which we can talk on more later. But yeah, Dany's not listening to anybody right now.
I think she feels like they're sitting on like a time bomb, and she's got to get the throne as soon as possible before.
Yeah, but what's Cersei gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
well, she just feels like just how, like, while they were dealing with this war, Cersei went and got the Golden Company. She feels like the longer she lets Cersei sit there, she's gonna reinforce her army more. She's gonna be able to be more prepared for Dany getting there.
And she does have other reasons to go.
Yeah, and if the secret gets out, she's like worried if the secret gets out, then there'll be division amongst their own army.
Yeah.
So
imagine if Jon and Cersei married to bring peace to the kingdom.
No. But like, also to speak for where Dany's at with this, she lost a lot more in this battle than Jon did. And a lot of Jon's people left, like Sam and them, they all left, and Tormund and the Wildlings, they left, and Dany's just running out of people, and she's like, yo, when it was my time, all my people came here, and I lost half of them, and now you guys are just bailing, and no one's gonna help me out. So I feel for Dany in this, because a lot of people are talking about how she's so crazy now, and she's the Mad Queen, but I think, honestly, for most of this episode, she was very reasonable.
Right. And also, you said that yesterday thoughts about how Tyrion and Sansa. Any thoughts about that before?
She's still shipping it. I like it too.
Yeah. I think I can't believe that. I liked the meme with
Cersei's word.
No, it says Sansa's word.
Sansa, yeah.
Oh, this means nothing, because she immediately tells Tyrion, And I think they talked about in the little reel after, like, that she told Tyrion knowing he would tell Varys, etc. So if that's true, then that's just awful because you just promised. Like, you looked Jon in his face.
In the gods.
I don't know, man. Chaos is a ladder.
We gotta say hi to Delisha. Welcome, Delisha, and Bubba. Welcome. And Jeff as well. How are you? So, any other thoughts on that before I move on to the next part?
No.
Okay. So, as you guys were mentioning, people are leaving. Tormund says his goodbyes to Jon, and Jon gives him Ghost. He bequeaths him Ghost and says, he belongs up north, not here. It's funny that Tormund always says this is the South. Well, he always says this is the South, and it's not the South because it's the North. But he knows anything that's not home to him. Just that's something I say about Jersey. Anything south of like Central Jersey is South Jersey, but people don't say that. But that's how I feel. Also, Gilly and Sam are leaving, and they reveal that Gilly's pregnant. And it's funny how he goes, "Oh, it's a lot of long nights at this. There's not much to do. You can only read so many books." And she's like, he gets it. Then we had that moment that a lot of people have been also talking about on the internet, where Jon doesn't really have a moment with Ghost. After all, this guy's pretty much been by his side all through since the beginning. Not all through the show, but for the most part. Even though you didn't see him, he's supposed to be there, I guess. Jon kind of just nods at him and walks out and rides off with Davos.
You know why? Because it would have cost money if he had to pet him.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Money to get rid of Starbucks cop.
And Dany's fleet is sailing to King's Landing, and underneath in the galley, I guess, whatever you want to call this place, Tyrion is now talking to Varys about it and saying there's only 8 people who know. I'm not trying to go over the 8 people who know. It's them being 2 of them, the Starks, I guess, right? So that's another 3. Jon, Dany, and Sam. That'd be 8. I guess you can kind of Gilly too. Possibly Gilly would know. That'd be 9. But they said 8 people know, including them. So
I don't know though, because Sam's actually a trustworthy person. So
Sam
no,
one.
she's the one who read it first. She's like she read it. So
I don't think she put that together.
Little Sam doesn't know.
So they're discussing it, and like Varys isn't really questioning if Dany deserves to be on the throne anymore. He always says his loyalty lies to the realm. So I think he's trying to plot to have put Jon on the throne as opposed to Dany. And then Tyrion's still saying, "Hey, you can marry them. We can marry them. That's probably the best idea to do." So the dragons are flying over towards King's Landing, and all of a sudden they are ambushed, and Rhaegal is shot by a ballista. Where did that ballista come from? We don't know yet. And then several more ballista hit him, and Rhaegal starts plummeting to the sea and into the ocean or bay. Could be Blackwater Bay. He goes, and then we see it was shot by Euron Greyjoy and one of Qyburn's ballistas. And it's actually cool that the detail they put it, they're like squid arm, like that's with a detail. Like we always have the costume design and the prop design are usually always great for the show. This is amazing that they put little suckers for a squid tentacle. It was awesome. So I know there's more to this scene, but I'm going to stop it there because I ran out of images to use. So you guys want to talk about Tyrion and Varys talking as well as the goodbyes and Euron's shot.
I think we were both expecting Tyrion to kind of drop this Varys in wherever they were talking about this because he's like, this is treason. And she's like, yeah, but you haven't thought. And he goes, yeah, but talking about it is treason. And like, I was getting ready for him to like just be like, because we have this thing like over our heads that Varys is going to die in this kingdom or in these lands. But to be fair, he could die of old age and we could be waiting forever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little sensitive about the ghost thing too. I saw that Ghost has like half the ear missing, and we have a little one-eared cat who has most of her ear on the same side missing, and I'm like, oh, Ghost looks like
fair,
Vinny.
I would let Tormund raise Vinny.
But yeah, they should have understood that people were going to be upset with no sort of goodbye between Ghost. He was like, we haven't seen Ghost this whole time, and then he just kind of like, okay, go away with Tormund. But I do think it's cute that people making memes about like the Tormund and Ghost show is the spinoff that we deserve and stuff. I think that's cute.
It was like the get out of here here from all those movies. I don't want you.
Arya does that.
Well, yeah, she does do that in like season 2, right? Or is it season 1?
Yeah, Nymeria.
Get out of here.
And your thoughts about the dragon and Euron?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So, So George R. R. Martin said that in the history of dragons, only one has been taken down by a projectile. Now, that being said, I understand technology can catch up with you, and that the dragon was hurt. I think one could have hit. All of those was a little insane.
Yeah, you would think the scales would have deflected some of the arrows. You know what I'm saying? Like in for example, Smaug, right? The dragon from The Hobbit. The only reason that they are able to get that dragon is because he was wounded before, and there was like one vulnerable spot they had to hit him. And these dragons just apparently you can hit them anywhere, and they just get smoked.
Well, and like we've seen them used on skeletons, but the skeletons are like just people without armor.
No scales. And another thing, Dany is an idiot. Why would she? We know how high these dragons can fly. Why was she not flying at a point these arrows would not be able to reach, so that she can scout and see what's going to be happening, so she doesn't just turn a corner and lose one of her dragons and gets her ships lit up?
That's the whole point of having those dragons.
Yes,
is the advantage.
And well, that's what I was going to talk about. When you're on the preview for next week, looks up in the sky. That's what Aegon and Visenya and what's the other one? Rhaenys used to do. They used to fly way high above the clouds and then swoop down and attack and like light fire because no one could see them. They get lost in the clouds and no one would know. Yeah. Like you saw in the battle against the Night King, how they were all the way up high and they swooped down in that beautiful scene of the moon and the night sky. Like that's what Aegon used to do when they conquered castles like Harrenhal and stuff.
That's even more annoying that they established how high they can fly in the episode beforehand.
Bubba agrees. Why didn't they do that? I think Rochelle joined. Welcome, Rochelle. Did anyone else join? I think that's what we got.
Did they really think no one would be there? I thought somebody would be there.
Maybe they didn't think that they'd make all those ballistas in this much time. I don't know, but like the thing is, it was all these ships that had lined up, and they just shot like a wave of it, and then like some of them did miss them, but like I guess the underbelly is soft. I guess it's not. You can't take maybe it's not the same dragons as they have in maybe Smaug is just a great dragon. He sleeps in like gold, so he gets like.
Yeah, but what about what Martin said about it? That's what I'm saying. Like it's just not consistent.
Well, no. That mean if only one hit, one's gonna eventually hit again. Odds are in their favor.
He said it's a 1 in a million shot to hit one of those dragons with it, and they hit the same dragon like 5 times. That's ridiculous.
No, but it was weak and it was like fly. It got hit, and then it just you shoot a whole straight line of it and this much wingspan.
You shoot a whole straight line that you're like 8 things cannot train on one single moving object, and more than half of them accurately hit.
I think only 3 hit.
I thought it was more,
but Dany also, what the hell was she doing when she just like flew at them, but then just didn't do shit and like retreated? Like, that was nothing too.
Get a big ass rock. Well, I shared a meme today on my Facebook. It's just like rock, and I don't know. But I mean, this isn't even the stupidest thing she's done tactically yet in the episode, so I think we can move on.
Yeah, I mean, so she's very thinking too much, just trying to like get this job done and not really planning. As you can see, like when Sansa suggests we should probably wait for everyone to recuperate. No, we're gonna boom, we gotta go. So she's not really thinking straight. They were trying the King's Landing, but they do end up in Dragonstone after the attack. Because what happens next is that Euron then trains the ballista over on Dany's fleet, starts firing away. We see
what is the reload?
The water, and they get knocked out, much like he got knocked out in the battle with the woods people. I forgot what they're called. The Mountain Men, the Hillscrow, the Stone Eyes, and all those people. But yeah, and then they wash up on shore. Grey Worm's looking for Missandei. We see Cersei letting all the people into the Red Keep because she figures, hey, it's a smart. She's thinking strategically. If you let all the innocent people into the thing, Dany's not going to attack because she wants to be the queen of these people. So she's not going to risk killing the people that she wants to rule. And she probably knows that Varys and Tyrion will be saying that to her. So the next scene, she reveals to Euron that she's pregnant, which I thought she always was. Because I remember I said she was pursing her lips when she took that sip. So I think she's pregnant. Like pregnant.
She's swapping out the baby daddy.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. Remember I said, you think she's going to do that with Euron? You guys said, I don't think she's pregnant, but I think she was because she pursed her lips. That's why.
Does she look pregnant though? She doesn't even look pregnant.
No.
I don't think
she really looked pregnant. Like, that's why.
I think she's lying this whole time. That was all this time jumping and Gilly showing, but she's not.
Yeah,
that's our hint.
But I like the thing because I think that's going to make the decision later on with another character trying to kill her a lot more monumental, which we can get to.
No,
but we'll see.
You might. You don't know.
That would just be so disappointed.
I do. I have to say, I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones. Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye hosts it, and he has like little nicknames for everybody, but he calls Euron Jared Let Himself Go, and it's the funniest thing ever.
Then we also see that Cersei say so much for the breaker of chains because you see someone's hand in chains and ends up being Missandei being captured by Cersei. So they regroup back at Dragonstone to have these plans. Danny's like, I'm going to go in this. I'm going to burn everything. I'm going to burn all the Kingslaying down because I don't care if the people in the Red Keep. It's like, we can't do that. Varys is like, you told me to speak up against you when you were doing something stupid, or I didn't agree with what you said. I'm telling you now. And Tyrion, kind of supports Varys in his claim and says, listen, you can't do that. She goes, fine, we'll parlay. Once again, they have a discussion about Jon being on the throne as opposed to Dany. And the treasonous talk, I guess you can call it. And, Tyrion makes it a point to say, how many rulers have you backed? There's been so many. I've only backed one person, and I'm staying with that person because I have faith in them. Eventually, you have to have faith in somebody. Back at Winterfell, they get a raven. Sansa is very upset, and Brienne looks upset too. Jaime goes, what happened? And they tell him that Dany's force have been ambushed, another dragon is dead, and the fleet is pretty much destroyed. And Sansa walks away disgusted because she knew she was right. At this point, Jaime's like, I gotta go. I have to go. Everything I did, I've always done for Cersei, so I have to go now. She's like, just stay with me. Here, Brienne's saying, pleading for him to stay with him. But no, he up and leaves. So your thoughts about this, because we're going to get to the final scene after this, from the destruction of the fleet until Jaime's exit.
Jaime's a liar, and I mean that in the way that he has no good deeds, and this is his one good deed, but he can't do it if Brienne's following him. So he's going to go kill Cersei, but he doesn't want Brienne involved, because if Brienne's there, she's in danger. Right?
It could be. I have no idea what the hell they're doing with the show. I would hope that he's not a dick because his character arc is one of the better ones in the story, and that would be kind of blowing all the progress that they've been making with him recently. Because it's sad. Like, we don't ever see Brienne get that sort of emotional, and it's a huge bummer for me. I saw one meme that was like, oh, she's out here in a house coat because of this dude yelling at like him in the snow of the north. I feel bad, it sucks. Like, she never was involved with anyone, probably for this very reason, because she doesn't want to be hurt or embarrassed. That's the biggest fear in her life. And here she is with someone who she thought that she spent many years developing a relationship with and trusting fully to get her little heart broken. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think he's in the honorable thing. Knowing that Jaime, the honorable guy that he is from day one to now, he's always, even before the show began, he was honorable by killing the Mad King to save the realm. So he's always been an honorable guy, and I hope he'll stay that way, but we'll see. Anything else about the talk, once again, about Tyrion saying, listen, you've been backing so many kings, and when's the time that when are you actually going to settle down with one king or one ruler? Because, you have to back one horse eventually and have faith in it. And he talks about that final talk about Tyrion and Varys on Dragonstone.
Yeah, I think Tyrion might be the person to find somebody who he's going to back, but Varys has been very straight up that if you're not doing what he thinks needs to be done, then he's not going to have your back, and he promised that he would say something to her face about it, and he straight up did, and she didn't listen to him. So I really don't blame Varys at this point,
But this time she did, though. She did say we're going to parlay. She's like, don't attack. He said, don't attack. And she's like, fine, I'll make one last-ditch effort to talk to her, to ask her for her surrender. So that brings us to the parlay, where we see Dany's forces kind of look formidable from this angle, and you're like, oh wow, so she brought pretty much her forces standing there with all these ballistas on the wall, on the turrets of the castle, with Cersei and all of them center stage, with Missandei and not the Hound, but what's his face, the Mountain, and Euron as well. And then you see it from the other angle. We only see it's like one garrison, and also Drogon's up in the back, like just right there. We'll talk about how I feel about the scene in a little bit, but then we see Qyburn approach, hand to the queen on Cersei's behalf, and hand to the queen from Dany's behalf. Tyrion talking, and Tyrion says, Dany demands Cersei surrender and relinquish the crown to Dany, and Qyburn goes, Cersei requests Dany to surrender and bend the knee to Cersei and no longer have any claim to the throne. So they see that there's a stalemate. So Tyrion then approaches the Cersei and tries to plead to her using, her children. Cersei's always had a soft spot in her heart for her children, saying, your future child too. You got to think about your future child, and you can't do this. You're going to be slaughtered by our forces. And Cersei's like thinking, like, what forces? You barely have anyone here present. But we know the John's coming with the army. But how much of an army could it possibly be? We don't know that. But yeah, so neither are going to do it. And then we see Cersei approach Missandei, and I thought she was going to push her off there, like how Cersei would normally do. But Cersei whispers to her and says, "Well, if you have any last words, this would be your chance." Missandei then screams, "Dracarys," and then we see the mountain come behind her, unsheath the sword, and chop off her head, and that really pisses off Dany. Dany walks away.
It's your face.
That is my face.
But yes, that's what we had. That's how the episode ends, with Dany walking away really, really pissed.
That's how I looked when the episode ended.
You have your scorpions right there. Just take out the dragon. Kill all of them. They can't do anything.
The
dragon was right back there.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Can you bring up the picture again, Cal, so I can point it to her?
That's what I was saying, because this was what I was saying about consistency. Remember, Cersei blew up a whole. What do you call it? Set. Yeah. So why? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory about why else would she bring everybody into the Red Keep? Remember her when she thought she was getting invaded by.
But that's not what Cal was saying. He's saying that she could blow everybody up in the whole place. But Cal is just saying they're right there. Why didn't she just kill them?
That's what I'm saying.
Character. No, but you're talking about different people.
No, I'm saying before that, I said you have all those scorpions.
Yeah.
Why don't you just kill them all?
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought up wildfire, and I said I think she's saving that for the people in the keep.
No. I don't think she's gonna kill anybody like that. I think she's using them as defense. What I'm saying is, we're talking about character consistency and all that. I'm saying this is where she wasn't consistent, because she blew up a whole sept and was dishonorable there. Why not kill everyone here? I'm agreeing with you, Tom, saying why not kill everyone here, because this is where she was not consistent. She had basically the hand of the queen, the leading general, probably if you don't count John, and Dany and the dragon, and they had like 8 ballistas there, scorpions. They definitely
Tyrion. That's the one that gets me, like, full blown. There's no excuse for her to not kill Tyrion right then and there. She already sent somebody to go kill Tyrion.
Yeah. With the crossbow, you have look, I don't want to see Tyrion go, but could you imagine that shot where after he's dodged all those spears earlier in the episode, he just gets hit point blank with a scorpion, and it's just
that would have been
oh my god.
It would have looked a lot like when the giant, remember the battle at the wall, the giant shot the arrow and hit the next and he went flying. It would look a lot like that. But you know what? I think, because I read about this and I was like, why wouldn't she attack? There is an honor thing about a parlay. Like, they've had this all throughout the series. They pointed out, because I was like, come on, like, Cersei would not do an honorable parlay, but like, people, when Renly and Stannis met, but they're brothers, so that's different. They would probably have an honorable parlay. But Ramsay and Jon had one after everything that's happened. It's I guess an honor thing, and because
but like to be
So,
fair, like I 100% see what you're saying, but this is Cersei, this is the Lannisters, this is the people who planned the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
They spit in the face of shit like this. They use it as a complete opportunity to take advantage of people who they know are going to be honorable in these situations. Like, if they do the Red Wedding when they're sitting there eating a feast under these people's roofs. then why not here? Why not that?
The only reason I can think of is that so she doesn't piss off the North more. You know what I mean? Because that would just morale would.
The rest of the realm, like if someone comes to parlay with you and you kill them, you know, like
you killed her advisor.
What?
You know what I mean? She still killed someone.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, kill all the people from the parlay. I mean, like, right there. That's all. I'm trying to just justify why she didn't do that. I think Cersei should have done that. That's like, her in her nature. I'm saying, like, I agree with you. That's her nature.
My only point I was trying to say was that if you're trying to show this, like, honoring the parlay thing, then you let everybody leave, or you kill everybody. Like, there's no in between. You don't kill one. Like, I don't know. I wish she pushed her instead of the mountain. Like.
But I guess, because like I guess a lot of cultures have that too. Because in my culture in war too, like back in our epics, like if a messenger rode in or a sentry rode in with like the white flag or whatever, you could not harm him no matter what. And that's the thing that's how it's been in the Revolutionary War and all that kind of stuff. I guess they just have to parlay, and that's just how it was. Like just for the story's sake, I guess that's what they did that. But like I do agree that she should have, just killed them all right there because that was her chance. What else was left? The North, John's forces, like maybe the rest of the realm would have rallied against her because of what her dishonorable act there, but I can't see why she wouldn't have done it.
At the very least, the dragon. You can shoot one. You can shoot one flying. You can shoot one sitting there in the corner.
Yeah. I don't know.
I meant like at the very least Tyrion. Like
this
is the dude who you hated this whole time. He's saying, right in front of you. You sent somebody to kill him. Like he knows that you sent somebody to kill him.
As far as personal like vendettas go, I agree with you 100%.
And that's what she is, though.
Tactic, I know.
But Cersei is personal vendettas.
As far as tactics, though, that's like disarming a nuke. If you get rid of that last dragon, like it's done. There's no more advantage.
We don't know if she sent. People are thinking saying that maybe we don't know that Cersei sent him Bronn to kill. We think some people are saying that maybe it's just Qyburn.
We've seen it. We saw her.
No.
Oh,
the reason it's Cersei. The reason they can't be on screen is because Bronn dated Cersei in real life, and they refused to be in the same room.
No, not that. Bro, we could have had Cersei giving the order to Qyburn to then go tell Bronn.
Yeah,
and we don't see that, so that's why.
But Qyburn wouldn't know about the crossbow and stuff, even.
No, they know that stuff. The Maesters always know about everything that happens. Like they had to have learned about him dying on the toilet. Like that's got to be the biggest news in the world. If like in the realm, at least the castle, if the hand of the king dies on a toilet, and he had crossed.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think that this is mostly just a writing issue because those two characters can't have a conversation with each other.
By the way,
they could have at least showed Qyburn being told by Cersei if that was the case.
Yeah, but Qyburn's like a super loyal character to her. I think
we're supposed to trust Qyburn.
Yeah.
But I like that you say that, Cal, because how do you think Tywin would feel if he was the talk of the realm because he shit on the privy or he died on the privy? He would hate it. He's probably rolling in his grave right now. And
Qyburn's probably the one who probably did the body, right? Like the autopsy and all that too. So right? So he would know. I don't know. I feel like maybe I still have a feeling that Cersei and Tyrion are in it together. I don't know why. Ever since the way
I don't. You're making it deeper than it is. They don't have any time for this shit. There's only 2 episodes left, No,
and he's not gonna. If he was going to betray Varys or betray her, he would have done it already. Betray Dany.
He is by giving the advice by backing her. She's supposed to be betrayed 3 times, right? So I don't know. That's why I feel like maybe it is. He's the one, the last betrayal, because I don't want to. We always say this. We put our hopes up, and like then nothing happens. Like the little symbol that I showed you guys. I tagged you on Facebook about like
going down the drain.
Yeah. So like I just feel like that could be but I don't know. I just feel like Tyrion is not. She could have killed him so many times. Why didn't she? Is it because she could have killed him when he went in alone in the room with her? There's got to be something, man, because unless honor for parlay, which we don't think she has, there has to be something. I don't know. But I don't know. With that said, any last thoughts about this episode before we get to our champions and stuff?
Unless she's trying to provoke Dany so that she does attack the Red Keep. Mm-hmm. If that's her strategy, then I can see yes. But still,
Kill the dragon.
yeah, but unless that's what she wants. Unless she wants Danny to come down with the dragon and kill everybody. Like,
yeah. And showing that, like, she is the Mad Queen that, like, her father before her.
right. Meanwhile, it's Cersei who's the Mad Queen because she's the one who put all those people in harm's way. That's how I think. I think those people are burning up one way or the other. Whether it's orange fire or green fire or reanimated blue fire out of nowhere.
Yeah. Kimber, any last thoughts about the episode before we move to our champion and
fire?
I just don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, we can't.
It hurts me so bad, but I don't care. Like, I just want the next book.
Level.
Like, this is just, they really messed it all up, man. And I wish I cared more. It makes me sad.
I remember you in episode 2.
The memes are my favorite part now.
Your life was so full of hope.
Eric says, get out now, people. All right, so with that said, we're going to start with Kimber. Who is your champion of the week?
I don't really have one because I've thought about this all week and everyone just sucks. So I'm going to say Tormund Giant's Bane is my champion because at least he knows that when a lady turns you down definitively, it's time to leave them alone and move on.
It's time to leave the region.
That's why I picked Tormund.
All right, Tom, and who is your champion of the week?
I'm going to pick Ghost because no one else would.
And because no one loved Ghost, that's why you're picking Ghost?
No, it's just, I don't know, like Tyrion tried really hard this episode. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, so by process of eliminating...
Yes, he did. He told Varys.
Yeah, I don't know. That's also kind of like testing Varys' allegiances, though, too. Like, I don't know. I'm just going to say... You know what? No. It's going to be Sam. He can keep a secret... And he's getting a little baby coming up. He's my champion.
All right. I thought it'd be pretty obvious this week. I think for me, it's Sansa. She did a great job. Like
she's the worst. She told everybody.
No, well, I mean about like strategy, about like recuperating and all that.
No, you're not wrong.
That kind of stuff. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, if I can't give it to Sansa, I have to give it to Theon. Theon did a great job as laying on the pyre, completely still. He got pinned as well, so that's for 5 weeks in a row. I can give it to Theon Greyjoy, but I also give it to share it with Sansa, so they get half of a half.
Well, it's weird because, I mean, if you look at the scene, all this time we're so worried about the flayed men, but Theon should have been worried about becoming a flamed man.
Yes.
So they subverted our expectations, and I applaud them.
Rochelle says hers is Arya for being true to herself and not getting married. So that's
true. And I liked her scene with the Hound. That was good.
Yeah, Sansa also had a good scene with the Hound as well. So why not the Hound? He had good scenes.
Hound gets the best scenes.
Yeah, because he had one with Tormund as well. Like all 3 of our people. Eric says Podrick would be his. Podrick just smiled at a girl. Those
2.
Yes, 2. Girls.
In the background, he's holding 2.
Oh, I didn't even see that in the background. I was too busy looking at the coffee cup. All right. With that, we're going to start with Tom first. Who are you ringing the shame bell on it? And we're going to have to pause for the shame bell again.
As I brought it up in the chat, I found out this week that one of the writers wrote X-Men Origins Wolverine. So I'm shaming the writers.
That's 2 weeks in a row for the writers. So shame.
As long as I have a reason, I will.
All right, Kimber. Who are you ringing the shame bell for?
This is really difficult because I could shame damn near all of the people. So real quick, notably, I'm going to say Sansa first, immediately spreading the rumor and telling everybody, and Dany for not, looking out for her dragons and also flying the one that's very wounded into the air and getting murdered immediately.
All right, hold on, wait.
Shame. And I'm going to say also my beloved Tyrion Lannister, one of my favorite characters. I have to shame him for telling Varys, the freaking Master of Whispers.
I mean, but he approached, and unless Cal's right about this, and he's in on it. Yeah. He approached the wall and we all thought he was going to get murked. So, like, the man's putting it on the line.
Also, why not? Wait, now I forgot what I was going to say about him. About Tyrion. Talking about Tyrion. Oh, Varsol's the Lord of the Master of Whispers, right? He's the spider. So how do we know he didn't know? He might have just known right from the beginning. We don't know.
He knew the whole time.
No, not from the beginning. I meant like.
That'd be funny though. I'd be like,
you might have heard the whispers around.
Iris might see him again. Then he would be the only one who was good at keeping the secret.
he was like, I was at their baptism. I know.
No, I meant like when someone was telling Tyrion. We don't know if Tyrion told. Like maybe he heard it around the way. I don't know. But for me, I'm gonna have to ring my shame bell once again for Jon Snow. That's 5 weeks in a row. So shame. For not petting Ghost. I mean, I love Ghost, man. Ghost has been my favorite. I always wanted to get a dog like Ghost. You guys know my cousin got a dog like Ghost. He's awesome. I saw the post picture last week, I think, when I left Avengers Endgame at the mall. There's a dog that was a Ghost, and I wanted to get it so badly and stuff like that. But I'd rather rescue a dog than purchase one, so that's why I didn't.
Yep.
But, I don't know. John, man, it's 5. Can he go the whole season for me? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see what happens. But with that said, I do hear a noise in the distance, and we'll have to get to that. Beep, beep. Yes, we did also hear the sounds of a car, but that can only mean it's a Raven from Castle Black, and we have our Maester, Jeff, back with us. We're glad to see that he's doing really well, and welcome back, Jeff. How are you?
Thank you. We're doing great. We're doing great, by the way. Thank you so much. It's good to be back.
Hope everything's okay. And before I don't want to interrupt you, but Eric, what's the point of the Lord of Light bringing John back? We'll see. There might be a purpose. We'll see. So how's everything? Everything's okay with your family and all that?
Everything's okay, yes. Yeah, the rains are starting now, so it's getting pretty crazy here. But it's much better than the heat.
I know we talked off camera and stuff about last week's episode, you and I and us all off screen in our chat, but you weren't able to talk about last week. Any quick thoughts about last week's episode and this week's episode? How you feel about it?
Regarding last week's episode, I have to say that a lot of the disappointments I did share with what you guys were saying, but mostly I didn't. There were things that, like I said in our chat, as a book reader, I'm usually let down by things that are in the show. But as an actor, and as somebody who enjoys the show as a show, I am just awed constantly. And so an episode like that, while it was dark, yes, and while the lighting was an interesting choice, it was still a fantastic episode. And I honestly had to say that I loved what they did with Arya in the end. I know that it was probably the most controversial choice that they'll make, but I really did love it, especially that it was set up earlier when she had snuck up on Jon. I like that. Well, okay, air quotes aside.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to set up this thing, you don't do it from the episode beforehand. You do it from the beginning of the series, like they were doing, and then they changed their mind 3 seasons ago.
Yeah. What I am wondering is, did they change their mind, or did George R. R. Martin change his? I don't know.
George wasn't involved. I remember seeing an article that said George Martin now knows the ending of Game of Thrones, and I was like, oh no, this is
That's
very
not good
bad.
at all.
No, maybe when they mean he knows it, he knows not to do what they just showed on the show, so he knows to do something completely different.
Maybe that's what they meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, a lot of the hate that was thrown towards it, I'm worried about the trend of hate that's being thrown toward the show. While I do agree with some of it, I think that some have taken it a little too far, especially with like what happened this week. You know, a simple mistake like a coffee cup becomes
I think there's
news,
a difference.
You know,
there's a difference between memeing and getting upset because of the writing. Like I didn't get mad about the Starbucks cup. I think
it made me laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. I was genuinely upset about the episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's I
Right.
agree with Kimber that I'm really waiting for the next book.
Yeah, I think we all are. But this could confirm, and George R. R. Martin hinted at it. Maybe Game of Thrones really is a Westworld. I mean, we heard the car a few minutes ago, and the coffee cup and the laptop charger. It's all adding up.
Yeah, it is starting to add up, isn't it? Yeah.
And the rubber sword, so it's a prop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But speaking of this week, taking everything that I just said about how I've been defensive of the show and the choices that they've made, I cannot forgive their treatment of Ghost. I just can't. I understand the costs involved, but that was can I get a little shame bell for that, man?
Yep.
Because that
Shame.
Shame.
it was indefensible what they have done with Ghost. It looks like as soon as John went north of the wall, they forgot how to use him completely, and they forgot the relationship between Ghost and John. So
Yeah,
it would have been better if they hadn't showed him at all.
it's so weird how the show
was just
the show portrayed Summer to be like the most like dedicated to the, and while Bran and Summer obviously have a crazy bond, it's only because he's warging all the time with it.
right.
Like the John and Snow, the John and the Ghost bond is like, and granted, we know they're not following the books, but like that's just a nice thing to have with your character.
Yeah,
and then they just threw it away,
and just really indefensible to not have. So that's all I need to say about that. And yeah, the wound in his ear, and you're not even gonna go. I mean, just use like a fur coat or something. Have him touch a fur coat. Say, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah, I know, but
It's like a Vinny. It makes me want to
just use Danny's coat.
Yeah,
but it's like and like an off-screen wound too. Like Ghost is a character. Ghost has always been a character. He's in like episode 1, right? Then they find
he was in episode 1 right at the beginning. Yeah. Oh, there he is.
She's like, nope.
Yeah, this one's sleeping.
Okay.
No, we've just been talking about the episodes. Hi.
Well, we do gotta go.
Now you gotta cut off one of the ears to make it.
No way.
Authentic battle damage.
Yeah.
He will get that all on his own. Trust me.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so I mean, really, I have tried to be defensive of certain choices that they've made, but this one I just can't do.
All right. So what do we have for the poll for this week?
Okay, well, the scroll arrived. Thankfully, the scroll arrived. And I really like this poll. Once again, it was a really good choice that you did. So, how will Daenerys respond to Jon's heritage and his better claim to the throne? 13% people said that she would accuse him of treason, which honestly, the way that she's been going lately wouldn't have surprised me much at all. I didn't think that she would do it in public, but she might have done it in private. 22% said that she would accept his claim. Really? Have you seen the show? 48% said that she would betray Jon, which is, I didn't think necessarily she would do that, but that one made the most sense to me. And this week, Eric said that she would offer marriage,
and that was
her offering marriage to him. I couldn't get behind, but if Tyrion proposed it to both of them, that would have made sense. But she never would have proposed to him. So that was the poll this week.
No, because unfortunately, like, queens are seen as second. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a king, then the queen is not.
She doesn't like to share. My friend James said if she had 2 asses, she'd ride both dragons.
That's why she let Rhaegal die.
Yeah. She's like, let him die, so I can only have one dragon to ride. That's probably what it was.
Okay, I have no response to that.
We have a poll for next week that's ending at 9 p.m. Eastern.
There's another.
What did you guys? Before we do that, what did you guys vote for that? We'll start with Jeff.
I think that it doesn't matter because one of them is absolutely going to die, and then I'll see what happens after that.
Okay, but I have something to ask you about that. With all of the expectations that they've subverted so far, that is the big one that everybody is assuming. Well, okay, again,
You can't call it subverting when they say we're writing this to surprise you.
Yeah, the expectations they've subverted that we have not been, happy about. But seriously, narratively speaking, this is John's show. John's going to win, which I can't believe they would actually do, given everything that's gone on. But I also would say that, narrative speaking, one of them will die. And again, what if they don't do that? What if they both survive?
I think if they wanted to surprise us, they would kill both of them. That would be better.
If they wanted to surprise us, they'd kill all of them. They already have the line, if you think the show has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
And they've also talked so much about breaking the wheel. And how does the wheel get broken if there's somebody on top again?
All the hosts realize that they're robots, and then there's an uprising in Westeros.
But we gotta go.
Yeah, we
gotta go.
Okay.
So
there's some leftover undead at our gates we need to take care of.
Okay.
All right, hold on, before the final poll, go ahead, you guys unplug yourself. I'll put this up on the screen.
You can always find some of our content over at Odd Shape Channel, and Kimber just put out a new video.
Yeah, I put out a new video yesterday on my true crime channel. It's about Nexium, the Allison Mack sex cult. So if you guys are interested in that, please check it out. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kimberbatch_OSP.
All right, thank you guys. As always, all that stuff is found in the description below, so check that out. Thank you guys for joining us, and I'll finish up with Jeff now. But yeah, thank you guys. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you guys next week for that. All right.
Bye.
See you guys.
We have a poll for next week. That's going to end at 9 p.m. Eastern. What do we got?
Yes. The poll for next week is who will kill Cersei? Let's assume that Cersei dies this week or the week after that. Who will kill Cersei? So the poll that's up right now is it going to be Jaime, Dany, Arya, or someone else?
So your thoughts now, who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I thought for a long time that it was going to be Jaime. And, if they do stay true to that prophecy about the younger brother with his hands around her throat, my wife had a really interesting idea that Jaime would be the one who would land that cut across her throat, and that Tyrion would actually be trying to help her in some way, and that's how his hands got around her throat. I don't know. But I would still think that Jaime is the one that's going to kill her.
Yeah, I think Jaime should be the one. So he can notch the other thing on. He's the Kingslayer. That could also be the Queenslayer as well. So
it would be fitting for his character, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be the final redemption arc, and then he could finally die because obviously the prophecy says that he'll die minutes because he's born minutes after her. So he's gonna die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does fit.
But yeah, that's book only too. So it was never mentioned on the show though.
I don't think they've ever mentioned that part of the prophecy on the show, just in regards to her kids.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it would make sense. That's good. Rochelle has a really good theory. I think that's awesome. It's a good idea. But any other final thoughts on this episode or the poll? Remember that poll ends at 9 p.m. Eastern, right before Game of Thrones starts, probably 8:59 p.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. So make sure you get your votes in, and we'll read that poll next week, and we'll have our final TV show poll. Then we have one more poll after that. So we have only 3 more episodes left for the Night's Watch after this. For the last 2 episodes, then we have one special coming up after the season's over. But any thoughts, last thoughts before we head out, and then I'll put up.
Well, I really did like this episode a lot. It was back true to form to the things that I prefer the most in the show is the Game of Thrones and not just battles. So I really enjoyed it. And I want to say, I know that Tom's not here anymore, but I wanted to say something he said earlier about how he thought that Varys was going to die in that scene. The second scene between him and Tyrion, where Tyrion was almost begging him not to go down that path of betraying Dany. I thought Varys was dead in that scene too. I didn't think he was going to get out of there. They were talking in the throne room. So I was sure that someone else was listening in on what they were saying. So that's the stuff that I love the most about the show. And so I really like this one a lot.
But who would have heard?
Well, where was Grey Worm?
Grey Worm's probably by Danny's side because he's a guard.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, but isn't the map room like right off to the side of the throne room?
I think it's behind it. Yeah, behind it.
It's like right there. So I was, and the way that Tyrion seemed to be begging him, please don't do this. It's like you're burying yourself right now because people are listening. That's what I thought.
It might be a night scene and she could have been sleeping and he was outside her chamber to protect her. You know, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, who knows?
Really, on the Unsullied speak the common tongue. So
yeah. So at any rate, I really think that Varys, he did what he said he was going to do. He told her to her face that she was making a mistake. So I don't know. I really thought he was dead.
Well, we'll find out next week because I think a lot of people are gonna die. They say next week is Emilia Clarke's favorite episode of the season. She says watch it on the biggest screen that you can possible. So maybe there's gonna be explosions and fire and glorious stuff.
We can hope. We can hope.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a big episode next week. It's the penultimate episode, guys. So not much left. So try to enjoy it while it lasts. Even though you might see flaws, try to enjoy the story as a whole.
Absolutely, I will echo that. Absolutely.
So where can we find you, Jeff, before we head out?
Anytime that you want to find me, you can look for me on Twitter. I'm at JMasterPoet, and that's usually the best place where you can get in touch with me.
And as for me, I am your host, Cal the Kingslayer. You can always find me here on the YouTube on Kingslayer Network, as well as on Twitch as well. I'll be doing my streaming on games Mondays and Fridays for now until I have a free entire week when Game of Thrones ends. But until then, I'll still be only in Mondays and Wednesdays, unless it is preempted on Mondays by AfterMat. That's going to be days after WWE pay-per-view. Also find me on Twitter at KingslayerNet, or on my Discord at Kingslayer Network too. All it's the same pretty much there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we have for this week. Next week's episode, we don't know what it's called yet because they don't tell us until after the episode airs. But we do only have 2 more, so 3 more Night's Watches, 2 more Game of Thrones episodes. So until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Enjoy the outro.